Okay, we are discussing the Young's models related applications mainly. Okay, in last class we discussed 18 node points. Next to 19th one, a uniform string of length L is fixed between the two rigid supports. Okay, the total length of the string between the two rigid supports is L. It is a light string. That means because of mass of the string, there is no elongation or extension in the string. Exactly at the midpoint C, the load of mass M is suspended. When it is suspended, then because of weight of this load, the midpoint is pulled downwards, so that whenever the load is under equilibrium, the same string occupies the position like this. Okay. Now this length AC becomes AC dash now. So what is the elongation of this string AC when load is suspended? That is the question they asked. Suppose when the midpoint comes to this position here, suppose this string makes an angle theta with horizontal. This length is equal to L by 2. So whenever the load is suspended exactly at the midpoint, the displacement of the midpoint in downwards direction is equal to say x. Okay, then elongation of this string is equal to AC dash minus AC. AC dash means, of course, we have to find minus AC means L by 2. Now, in order to find this AC dash, now whenever the load is suspended here, at the instant whenever this midpoint is under equilibrium because of suspension of the load here, at that time, the tension developed in the string is say T. As it is the midpoint and the string is symmetric about this midpoint, whatever the tension here is also same. That's why resolve this tension into components along horizontal and along vertical. This is T cos. If it is theta, this is theta. Theta is not given, we imagine, but this vertical displacement is given. So this is T cos theta, this is T sin theta. For this tension, it is T cos theta, it is T sin theta. So exactly at the midpoint, as it is under equilibrium, this T cos theta, this T cos theta both cancel each other. This T cos theta, T cos theta cancel. Along vertical direction at this point, T sin theta, 2 sin theta acts upwards and weight mg downwards. Under equilibrium, 2T sin theta acts on this point in vertical upward direction is equal to weight mg. Or T is equal to mg by 2 sin theta, no? Mg by 2 sin theta. This is the tension in the string. When you know the tension in the string, the elongation of this wire can be found, no? Because of this tension in the string only, this wire will elongate and occupy the position here. That's why to find the elongation of this part of the string from the definition of the Young's modulus, you see here sin theta. Theta is not given, x is given. That's why sin theta can be written as x by opposite by AC dash. Opposite by AC dash. Okay. So tension T is equal to mg by 2 into sin theta means x by AC dash. So mg AC dash by 2x. This is the tension. So to find the elongation of this wire AC, y is equal to, of course, FL by AE we know. F means tension in the string. Because of tension only it is elongates. That's why tension T. F means tension T. L means elongation of this part of the wire only we are finding. That's why L by 2. By area of cross section into Young's modulus Y. Young's modulus Y. So therefore, elongation A is equal to, of course, by using this formula FL by AY. No? That is equal to elongation of this part of the wire is elongation of this part of the wire means that is equal to AC dash minus AC. AC dash minus AC. Okay, therefore E is equal to F means T, L means L by 2, AY. That is equal to T means T is equal to mg AC dash by 2x. mg AC dash by 2x into L by 2 by AY. L by 2 by AY. Okay. From this, E is equal to mg, you see, mg L AC dash by 4x AY. 4x AY. AC dash means already, here you see, AC dash is equal to, from this diagram you see, from this diagram, AC dash is equal to square root of L by 2 whole square plus x square we can write now. Instead of AC dash, you substitute this value here instead of AC dash. Then elongation of this part of the string when load is suspended at the midpoint is equal to mgl by 4x ay into square root of AC dash means L by 2 whole square plus x square. It is the elongation of this part of the string when load is suspended at the midpoint. Okay. I think here some information is not given. X may not be given, or this length may not be given. X may not be given. Theta may be given. Some information is not given. We have to find like this. Of course, if this information both are known, simply we can find this one, and AC dash minus this one gives directly elongation of the y. They may ask, I think, y. In order to find y, we had to substitute E is equal to, in this formula, E is equal to, we have to substitute this AC dash minus L by 2, we have to substitute. Then y we have to calculate. In such a way, they may ask. Okay. E may be given. We are not finding E. E may be given. By this geometry, we can find. Why they may ask. From this, whatever y we can find. In such a way, they may ask. We have to write the equations like this. Okay. This is one example. Next. th. Tomorrow we have to. I will do the problems on the board. Okay, next 20th problem. Suppose a light pulley, a light frictionless pulley. It is the light frictionless pulley. It is suspended from the rigid supports by means of string passed over the pulley. A string is passed over the pulley like this. A string is passed over the light. A string is passed over the light frictionless pulley, and by means of string, the pulley is suspended. And here, from the pulley, a load is suspended. The load of mass m is suspended so that the weight mg acts vertically downwards direction. When load is not there, the pulley is like this. When load is not there, the pulley is up to this only. Center is here. Center is here. When load is suspended, the center of the pulley comes to this position, so that the center of the pulley comes down to a distance equal to, say, x. When load is not suspended, pulley is here only. When load is here, pulley is the light frictionless pulley. That's why when the load is suspended here, the strings will not elongate. The strings will not elongate. It is the small light frictionless pulley. Pulley is the small, light, smooth pulley or frictionless pulley. Smooth pulley. Here it is, the pulley is the small, light, smooth pulley or frictionless pulley. Okay, that's why the length of the string over the circumference of the pulley can be neglected, ignored. పుల్లి యొక్క సైజ్ తక్కువ కాబట్టి ఈ సర్కంఫరెన్స్ మీద మన స్ట్రింగ్ యొక్క లెంత్ నెగ్లెక్ట్ చేయొచ్చు. సర్కంఫరెన్స్ మీద పుల్లి యొక్క లెంత్ నెగ్లెక్ట్ చేయొచ్చు. అయితే whenever the load is not suspended, this here as the pulley is up to this, the length of the string up to this is L. This is also equal to L. And the length of the string over the circumference of the pulley, or periphery of the pulley can be ignored because small in size. Okay. Now, when the load is suspended, the pulley comes down to a position here, so that the center of the pulley comes down to a distance x. Then, because of suspension of the load, what is the total increase in length of the string? Total length of the string can be taken as L plus L, 2L only. Total length of the string is taken as 2L only because the length of the string over the pulley is negligible, ignored because it is in small in size. So whenever the load is suspended, what is the total elongation of the string? Very good. So whenever the load is suspended here, as the pulley displaces to a distance, say x, then this part of length of the string, this part of the length of the string is increased now. That means string is elongated now. So from the diagram, the total elongation of the string, total elongation of string is equal to 2 into x. Original length of the string, original length, capital L is equal to, we can write to 2L. Okay. Original length of the string is equal to, capital L is equal to L plus L, 2L. Original length of the string is 2L. We write L plus L, so 2L. L plus L. So L is equal to 2 into small l. R we write L naught. L naught is equal to 2 into L. That is the original length. Okay. Next, whenever the pulley is here under equilibrium, when tension over from the sting is say T, here also tension is T. Under equilibrium, on the pulley, upward force is 2T, downward force is equal to weight mg only. Because at this point, the weight of the load acts downward direction. That's why 2T is equal to m into z. R implies tension the sting is equal to mz by 2. No doubt, in this string and in this string, same tension is there. Okay, because of this tension, extension of the entire string is equal to 2x. Extension of the entire string is equal to 2x. Then what is that x they asked? Young's modulus of material of the wire is given as y. Young's modulus is equal to y of the material. Okay. Now, from the equation y is equal to, according to the definition of the Young's modulus, y is equal to f by a, e by l, l naught. Original length of the wire is l naught. So, therefore, that implies Young's modulus y is equal to f means tension the string into total length of the wire l naught by area of cross section of the wire into elongation. We need elongation, say E. E is equal to T L naught by A into Y. Now we substitute the data. Elongation is equal to 2x, no? Elongation is equal to 2x. So 2x is equal to T means mg by 2. L naught means 2 small l. Why? Because this length is given as L. That's why the total length is equal to 2L. Suppose this total length is given as 2L. Total length is given as L. Then it is L by 2, it is L by 2, we have to write. Okay. 2L by area of cross section A into Young's modulus Y. So here 2 cancel. So that is equal to mg L by area of cross section into Y. Therefore, x is equal to how much? X means displacement of the pulley downwards. Therefore, displacement of the pulley. X is equal to mg L by 2A into Y downwards. This is the displacement of the pulley. That is the y is equal to 2L. Where E is equal to L? Where I have taken E is equal to 2L? Kailash, where I have E is equal to 2x. Here I said no. Here you see, whenever the load is suspended, the pulley comes down through a distance equal to x. Whenever the pulley comes down here, the length of the string in this direction increased up to this, and this length increased up to this. This length can be ignored. That's why this is x, this is x. This is the additional length increase now. That is the additional length now. That's why, because of load suspended here, length of the total length of the wire increased by x plus x means 2x. That is the elongation of the total wire. Total wire of length L naught is equal to L plus L. This length can be ignored. Okay, Kailash. Right. Note down. So mg L by 2ay is the answer. Okay, next. One more example. Shall I raise? Shall I raise this one? Total length is 2L I have taken now. Total length is 2L only I have taken. Total length 2L. Swaran page, I think. Swaran page. Total length is 2L only, no? Swaran page. Total length is 2L only, no? Right. I will erase this one. So what is the next concept? 20th, next concept is 21st now. Total force acts on the pulley upwards is equal to 2T, downwards force is equal to mg, percentage. In the two strings, T tension acts in this direction, T tension acts in this direction. So total force acts on the pulley upwards is equal to 2T and downward force is equal to weight mg. So 2T is equal to mg now. And T is equal to mg by 2 now, percentage. And tension the string is equal to mg by 2. Okay. Okay, next to 21st one. 21st. Here there is a cylindrical rod. There is a cylindrical rod. From sidewise view, if you see, the cylindrical rod is like this. The cylindrical rod appears like this when you see the sidewise view. So this rod is having total length L. This rod is pulled along its axis. This rod here, area of cross section of the rod is A. Area of cross section is A. Area of cross section of the rod means this one. Area of cross section of the rod is A. Okay, now here this end of the rod is pulled in this direction with a force equal to F1, and this end is pulled in this direction with a force F2. Or you say this is F1, this is F2, because in the book I used the symbols F1, F2. This is F1, this is F2. This is F1, this is F2. For our convenience, suppose F2 greater than F1. Here F2 greater than F1. Okay. Now what is the acceleration of this rod? Because of application of these forces, what is the acceleration of the rod? Acceleration of the rod small a is equal to acceleration of the rod small a is equal to F2 minus F1 by mass of the rod is m. Mass of the rod is m. This is equation 1. Here the question is, what is the tension at a distance x from left end? Left end దగ్గర నుంచి x distance లో ఉన్న పాయింట్ దగ్గర టెన్షన్ ఎంత అన్నాడు. Suppose here there is one cell here from the left end at a distance x. From the left end at a distance x, what is the tension in the rod or tension in the string? That is how much? T is equal to question mark. So first one, tension in the rod at a distance x. Come on, T is equal to question mark. Okay, here already in case of Newton's laws I said this concept. So according to Newton's law, as F is greater than F1, acceleration equal to F2 minus F1 by m. Okay, what is the tension in this rod at this point? They asked. Okay, at this point, if the tension of the rod is equal to say capital T, then when you consider this part only, I am drawing that part only. When you consider that part only of length x, of course, if you see sideways, you can see that circular cross section. Okay, here this length is equal to x, no? The tension at this point is always away from the body. When you consider this part, the tension here is away from the body, means in this direction. Here, applied force F1 is towards left. Even then, as the F is greater than F1, then this entire rod will move towards right with an acceleration A. So, this move with acceleration A in this direction. Obviously, this tension is greater, no? Tension at this point is greater. Because of that only, this part of the rod will move towards right. That's why here tension is T. So what is the T? Net force acts on this part is equal to T minus F1. It is equal to mass of this part m dash into every part of the rod travel with the same acceleration A only. That's why A. Therefore T minus F1 is equal to mass of this part means total mass of the rod is m for the length equal to L. Then mass per unit length is this one. If the mass per unit length is this one, what is the mass of this part having length x? Means x. It is the mass of this part into acceleration A. Acceleration means F2 minus F1 by m. F2 minus F1 whole by m. Mm cancel, of course. So therefore tension is equal to F1. You bring this minus F1 to right, then F1 plus x by L into F2 minus F1. Okay, therefore this is equal to T is equal to F1 plus xF2 by L minus xF1 by L. F1 you take common, then 1 minus x by L plus x by L into F2. Already there also in case of uniform rope, when it's pulled with different forces on both sides, then tension the rope at a distance x is, we got this type of formula only. It is the tension in the rope at a distance x. Next question is longitudinal stress at the given cross section PQ. If the cross section of the rod is A0 and the tension is T. Okay, you note this one. Note down. In 21 only, second bit. B. Longitudinal stress at the given cross section PQ. If the cross section of the rod is A0, longitudinal stress. Longitudinal stress at the given cross section. At the given cross section PQ. If the cross section of the rod is cross section of the rod is A0 and tension is T. Tension is T. Okay. Suppose here this is the rod. Suppose it is the rod of length L. It is the rod of length L, mass of course M. Cross section is this one. This cross section. This cross section is PQ. PQ. PQ is the cross section of this rod. Here F2 force is applied in this direction. Here F1 force is applied in this direction. At this cross section, tension is given. That tension is capital T given. Tension capital T. As the forces are applied in this direction, the tension in the rod, tension in the rod is along this direction only. As the forces are applied in this direction, tension. Suppose if you consider this part, tension is in this direction. If you consider this part, tension in this direction. If you consider this part, tension is in this direction. Suppose I consider the tension here. Here this. Okay, now here area of cross section. This cross section area is considered as A0. This cross section area is considered as A0. Okay, this is given. Suppose the area cross section of this PQ part, PQ cross section, is it more than this one or less than this one? Cross section of this PQ part is more compared with A0 or less compared with A0? Tell me. More. Suppose the area cross section of this part is always perpendicular to the surface. This surface is perpendicular draw chain. This is the direction of this cross section area of PQ. That is A. APQ is equal to say A. APQ is equal to A. Okay, now here they asked what is the longitudinal stress. They asked what is the longitudinal stress. Okay, here this angle is also given in the diagram. It is theta. If it is theta, this is theta. This is theta. Okay, this is theta. As it is perpendicular to this one, this is 90 minus theta. Okay, now what is this area of cross section is given, it is not given. So what is the component of this area of cross section along the length of the rod? If it is A in this direction, the component in this direction is equal to A cos 90 minus theta. No? So the component of this area of cross section along this direction is equal to a cos 90 minus theta, but that is equal to a naught given. So a naught. From this, a is equal to a naught by, we can write sin theta now. This is equation 1. Okay. Therefore, area of cross section of PQ is known. Now the stress we have to find. Long-term stress. Long-term stress means what is the formula for long-term stress? What is the formula for long-term stress? Perpendicular to the cross section, the force applied by area of cross section. Which one? ఇక్కడ perpendicular to this cross section అంటే ఇది కదా, దానికి perpendicular గా ఉండే direction of force అంటే ఇదేనా? If it is theta, this is theta. Then this component is T sin theta, no? T sin theta. So perpendicular to this cross section, force acts on the cross section is equal to T sin theta and area is equal to A. Therefore, stress, longitudinal stress is equal to longitudinal stress or tensile stress. Longitudinal stress is equal to force by area of cross section. Force means perpendicular to the cross section, the force acts on the rod is equal to T sin theta given. So T sin theta by area of cross section in this direction is equal to A. A means we have A naught by sin theta. A naught by, because A naught is given, not A. That's why A naught by sin theta you write. Therefore, longitudinal stress is equal to longitudinal stress is equal to T into sin square theta by A naught, no? So this is the longitudinal stress. It is the longitudinal stress acts at this cross section. Okay, T sin square theta by A naught. Next, see, sharing stress. Sharing stress at the given cross section PQ. Sharing stress at given cross section is equal to question mark. Sharing stress. Okay, you see, what is the general formula for sharing stress? General formula for sharing stress. What is the formula for sharing stress or tangential stress? Sharing stress or tangential stress is tangential at this cross section. They asked sharing stress at the given cross section PQ. PQ is equal to what? So here sharing stress at the given cross section PQ means tangential force acts on the surface of this cross section considered by tangential area. So tangential force by area, surface area along tangential direction. Area along tangential direction. Area along tangential direction means that is equal to surface area A only. Therefore, that is equal to sharing stress is equal to tangential force. You see, in this direction tension is T. Then their component in this direction is equal to T cos theta. No, T cos theta is the tension along the tangential direction. That's why T cos theta. Tangential force is T cos theta along the tangential to the surface by area along the tangential direction is equal to this area. What is this area? The total area is equal to A itself. No, total area is equal to A itself. A only. This total area, area along tangential direction means this total area. The total area is taken as A only. That's why total area A. This is equal to E into cos theta by A means already we got A is equal to A naught by sin theta. A naught by sin theta you write by sin theta. That is equal to T into sin theta into cos theta by A naught. Multiply with 2, divide with 2. 2 sin theta cos theta means sin 2 theta we can write. Therefore, sharing stress or tangential stress. Sharing stress is equal to T into sin 2 theta. T into sin 2 theta by 2 A naught. It is the sharing stress. It is the sharing stress. Okay. Note down. That is the shearing stress. Shall I erase? Oh. What is the elongation of the wire due to its own weight? Already we derived that form, I think. Elongation of the wire due to its own weight. 22nd. What is the formula for elongation of the wire due to its own weight? Rho z L square by 2y. I think I derived that formula. Elongation of the wire due to its own weight. When the wire is hanging, then what is the elongation of that wire due to its own weight is equal to rho z L square by 2y. I think I derived that formula. Okay. We derived that formula in the class only. Am I right? Right. Next to 22nd. Breaking stress. Breaking stress. S suffix B. Breaking stress. Stress is S. Breaking stress means SB. Breaking stress means, suppose you take the rubber wire, rubber cord or rubber wire. You gradually pull the rubber cord by applying some force. You gradually increase the force along the length of the string. Then the rubber cord extended or elongated. In this way, if you apply, if you apply the further force, then elongation further increase, and at one particular applied force along the length of the rubber cord will be broken. No? At the instant whenever rubber cord is broken, at the time force applied along the length of this rubber cord is say F. Area of cross section of the rubber cord is say A. And F by A, that is the stress at the instant whenever the wire is broken. That is called breaking stress. So the stress developed within the wire at which the wire will be broken. That is called the breaking stress. Okay. The stress in the wire at which it will be broken. At which it will be broken is called breaking stress. Is called breaking stress. Okay. Here, breaking stress depends on nature of the material. Breaking stress depends on nature of material, but does not depend on the dimensions of the given body. Breaking stress, SB, depends on nature of material. Nature of material. But does not depends on dimensions of the body, means area, cross section, length of the wire, etc. Does not depends on dimensions of wire, like length, area, cross section, etc. Okay. So breaking strength depends on the nature of material, means it depends on nature of material, means it depends on Young's modulus Y, because it depends on nature of material only, and density of the wire, rho. So the breaking stress depends on nature of material, means that means Y and rho, Young's modulus and density, because these two depends on the nature of material only. Okay. So now breaking force, that means the tension or restoring force developed in the wire at which the wire will be broken. Now force apply చేస్తుంటే వెళ్తున్నప్పుడు రబ్బర్ కార్డ్ మీద at one particular force, when one particular force is applied on the rubber card, the rubber card will be broken. At that time, whatever the force applied, deforming force applied, that amount of restraining force is developed in the string, or that amount of tension is developed in the string, at which the wire will be broken. Such particular force applied at which the wire will be broken is called the breaking strength. It is the breaking stress. Next, breaking strength. 23rd. Breaking strength. Breaking strength. So the force at which the force at which the string will be broken, that is called breaking strength. So breaking stress is equal to breaking force, FB say, breaking force FB. Breaking force FB by area of cross section A, or breaking force FB is equal to breaking stress into area of cross section A. Area of cross section A. So it is very, very important formula. The breaking force depends on SB and area of cross section. SB means nature of material, like Young's modulus and density. Area of cross section. So breaking force depends on area of cross section and the nature of the material. Therefore, from this, breaking stress depends on, breaking force depends on nature of material. Nature of material. Nature of material means Y rho, and area of cross section of the wire. Area of cross section A of the wire. But does not depends on length of the wire, because length term is not there, but does not depends on length of the wire. Does not depends on the length of the wire. So one example here I want to say, because that was asked in, I think, MSET, not mains. MSET they asked it. Here, from the same bundle, two wires of different lengths are taken. Two wires of different lengths are taken from the same bundle. Okay. In case of first wire, it is the first wire. In case of first wire, when load 20 Newton is suspended, load W is equal to 20 Newton is suspended, immediately this wire will be broken. The minimum weight suspended here for which the string will be broken is 20 Newton. That's why breaking strength is 20 Newton. When the another wire is taken from the same bundle but having different length, more length, then what is the breaking strength? W is equal to breaking strength, that is equal to how much? Here only length changes, area of cross section or nature of material does not change. Only length changes. That's why in this case, what is the breaking strength means, that is equal to 20 Newton only. Because the area of cross section of the wire does not change. Because these two wires are taken from the same bundle. That's why area of cross section is same, made of same material. That's why SB is same, area of cross section is same. Then FB also same now. For this, if the breaking strength is equal to FB, for this also breaking strength is equal to this only, 20 Newton only. So from this it is clear that breaking strength does not depends on the length of the wire. It depends on area of cross section, nature of material. If those two does not change, breaking strength does not changes. Okay. Sometimes they may ask, when the area of cross section of the wire is doubled, what is the breaking force? They may ask. In such case, breaking force is directly proportional to area of cross section, because for the given material it is constant. So breaking force is directly proportional to area of cross section A. F1 by F2 is equal to A1 by A2. Whatever the length, F1 by F2 is equal to A1 by A2. When area of cross section is more, breaking strength will be more. Okay, that's why in order to hold the more weight, the area of cross section of the wire must be more. Then only the wire will not be broken. Okay, this is about breaking strength. It's a very, very important point for objective, mains especially. This formula is also important. Breaking force or breaking strength is directly proportional to area of cross section of the wire. It does not depend on length. F1 by F2 is equal to A1 by A2. That formula is also very, very important. First of all, Serrel's operators. Serrel's operators. Serrel's operators. Actually, it is not in our syllabus, but just what is the use of the Serrel's operators, that must be known. Serrel's operators is the device used to measure the Young's modulus of material of the wire. Young's modulus of material of the wire. అంటే Serrel's operators ఉపయోగించి మనం Young's modulus of material of the wire ని find out చేయొచ్చు. So this is the device used to measure. It is used to measure Young's modulus of material of the wire. Young's modulus of material of the wire. Material of the wire. దీంట్లో actually అంటే I don't want to say the total construction and working because it is not in our syllabus. Okay, here in this actually one experimental wire whose Young's modulus to be determined is taken and reference wire is also taken. Two wires are connected from the rigid support. Okay, for the experimental wire, suppose this is the experimental wire. It is the experimental wire. It is suspended from the rigid support and a load is attached. A load is attached here by means of weight hanger. The load of mass m is attached. Then weight mg acts vertically down direction. Original length of this thing is L when no load is suspended. But when load is suspended, elongation takes place in the wire. Okay. Then it is the original length. L is the original length of the wire. That is the original length of the wire. Okay. Therefore, whenever this load is suspended, what is the elongation of the wire? Because here actually in that Serrel's operators, the load gradually increases. Whenever no load is there, the weight of this mass of this thing is negligible. That's why due to its own mass of the wire, there is no considerable elongation. But when load is attached here, due to that load, some tension is developed in the string, and due to that extension takes place. If you increase the load, tension in the string also increases, so that elongation also increases. That's why here the load only acts as the restoring force developed in the string. Due to that, what is the elongation? From the formula, Young's modulus y is equal to F by A, that means stress by strain means E by L. From this elongation, E is equal to F by A, L by Y. Okay, E is equal to F means load attached, mg, load suspended. Whatever the load suspended, that amount of tension is developed in the string, and which is equal to restoring force developed. Okay, into original length of the wire is L by area of cross section of the wire into Young's modulus Y. Okay, within the elastic limit, the area of cross section of the wire is almost all constant. Within the elastic limit అంటే ఇది బ్రేక్ కాకుండా మళ్ళీ రిగైన్ చేసుకునే పొజిషన్ లో కనుకుంటే లోడ్ ని రిమూవ్ చేసినప్పుడు in that time, during that time, the area of cross section of the wire does not changes considerably. That's why same area of cross section of the wire we will take. Okay, now here from this formula, for the given arrangement, area within the elastic limit, area of cross section does not change, wire does not change. So this is constant, this is constant, this is constant. So load attached is directly proportional. Of course, elongation of the wire is directly proportional to load suspended. This is the relation. Okay, now from this, when load increases, the elongation of the wire also proportionally increases. So if you draw the graph between load and elongation, if load increases, the elongation also proportionally increases. Elongation also proportionally increases. What is the slope of this graph? Suppose the angle made by this straight line with x-axis is theta, then slope tan theta is equal to E by m. Y by x means E by m. From this equation, what is E by m value? E by m is equal to GL by A by m, GL by A into Young's modulus Y. This is the slope of this graph. Okay, now, so based on this concept, Serrel's operators, one problem is there. Of course, there is no different method. Already here weight suspended, force, restoring force developed in the string is equal to weight suspended. Already we discussed it. So that formula only we had used, but they use it as a different word, Serrel's operators. That's why I explained this one. Next here, 25th. Suppose for the given wire at different temperatures, by increasing the load load versus elongation graphs are drawn. Load is taken along x-axis and elongation is taken along y-axis, and at a temperature T1, T1 degrees centigrade. At a temperature T1 degrees centigrade, by increasing the load attached to the spring, the respective elongations are measured and a graph is drawn. The graph obtained is like this at a temperature T1. At a temperature T2, at the temperature T2 degrees centigrade, centigrade means definitely it is the temperature only now. At a temperature T2 degrees centigrade, for the same wire, again the load versus elongation graph is drawn. Then the graph is obtained like this. Then what is the relation between T1 and T2 temperatures? What is the relation between T1 and T2? Tell me. Anybody else can say? Anybody? When temperature increases, what happens? L2 greater than T2 greater than T1. Okay. You see? Yeah. Okay, you see, whenever the temperature is more, when the wire is heated, temperature is more means wire is heated. When wire is heated, expansion takes place now. Expansion takes place now in the wire. Because of heating, thermal expansion takes place in the wire. Expansion of the wire upon heating is called thermal expansion. Expansion of the wire because of load suspended is called elongation. That is different. Okay. So here, whenever the temperature is more, because of expansion, thermal expansion, the length of the wire will increase. Length of the wire will increase. When temperature increases, L increases. Why decrease? Because whenever the temperature is more, because of expansion, interatomic distance, intermolecular distance increases. When intermolecular distance increases, force decreases. So Young's modulus decreases. Young's modulus decrease అవుతోంది, L increase అవుతోంది కాబట్టి అప్పుడు స్లోప్ ఇంక్రీజ్ అవుతుంది కదా, స్లోప్ ఇంక్రీజ్ అవుతోంది, ఇక్కడ ఎక్కువ ఉంది ఇక్కడేగా, కాబట్టి T2 is greater than T1. That is one way you can say. Okay. Or in other words, for the same load, here we draw a vertical line. At this point or at this point, same load is suspended, but here elongation is more, here elongation is less. At the same load, when elongation is more, then length is more and y will be less. When length is more and y will be less for the same wire, then temperature will be more at that place. That's why here temperature is greater. So from this, T2 is greater than T1. T2 is greater than T1. That is the answer. Okay. So at high temperature, T2, due to expansion, L increases and Y decreases. Hence, E is more, elongation is more for the same load. That is the case. Okay. This is 21. Next one more point. 26th one. Punching of a hole. 26th one. Punching of a hole. In a plate. Punching of a hole in a plate. Suppose there is a plate having certain thickness. Whatever the shape, there is a plate having some thickness. It is the metal plate having some thickness. It is the metal plate having thickness say T. Thickness is T. In this metal plate, we had to punch a hole. In this metal plate, we had to punch a hole. What we use to punch the hole is the metal plate. So simply, we cannot, by means of the any screwdriver, we cannot make a hole. We cannot punch a hole in the metal plate. What we had to do to punch a hole, to form a hole in the metal plate, what we do? ఏం చేయాలి మనం హోల్ ని పంచ్ చేయాలంటే డైరెక్ట్ చేయగలమా చేయలేం కదా సో we use some instrument. That instrument is like a rod. Here this edge is depressed and the circumference is very sharp. Such type of instrument is used to punch the hole or any drill machine. But here punching, not drilling. So in case of punching the hole, we will take the device or we will take the instrument in the form of a rod. Okay, and at the edge it is depressed so that the edge is very sharp and rigid. Okay, that type of rod is kept over the metal plate and it is hammering like this. Then a hole is punched. Suppose here a hole of radius small r is punched. This is a hole of radius small r that is punched. దీంట్లో హోల్ పంచ్ చేసినప్పుడు డెఫినెట్ గా ఇట్లా హోల్ ని పంచ్ చేసినప్పుడు ఇట్లా హోల్ ఫామ్ అవుతుంది కదా హోల్ ఫామ్ అవుతుంది కదా ఆ హోల్ పంచ్ చేయడానికి వాట్ ఈస్ ద ఫోర్స్ రిక్వైర్డ్ in order to punch a hole what is the force required that is the example that is the case in order to punch the hole what is the force required rigidity modulus is given. In order to punch the hole, what is the force with which force required to punch the hole is how much? That is the question they asked. In order to punch the hole, with what force the hammering is to be taken place? And by keeping the instrument here, with what force we have to hammer the instrument to punch a hole? Breaking stress of the metal that will be given. Breaking strength is equal to breaking strength is equal to say FB. That is the force required. Breaking strength is not given. Breaking stress is given. Breaking stress because that depends on the nature of material. So that is given. Breaking stress of nature of this metal plate is breaking stress. That is equal to SBC. Okay. In order to punch the hole, what is the force required? So force required to punch the hole. Force required to punch the hole. Force required to punch the hole means breaking force only, no? Because when you punch the hole like this by means of instrument, the metal plate should be broken. So what are the force to be applied to break the metal plate? That is the breaking strength. So force required to punch the hole is the breaking strength. So force required to punch the hole, which is called breaking strength or breaking force. Breaking strength is equal to breaking stress SB into area of cross section. Area of cross section. So breaking strength F is equal to this one formula. So breaking force F is equal to breaking stress is fixed. Breaking stress SB is fixed. What is the area of cross section? Area of cross section means that is the area of the surface on which force is applied. Area of the surface on which force is applied. What is the surface area on which force is applied? Tell me. What is the surface area on which force is applied here? To punch the hole, force must be applied at the circumference. Force must be applied at the circumference tangential to the surface. ఇక్కడ మనం హోల్ పంచ్ చేసినప్పుడు దానికి సర్కంఫరెన్స్ మీద, ఎందుకంటే మీకు చెప్పే ఆల్రెడీ rod is there at the edge, at one end it is depressed so that the edges are sharp. That is in the form of a circle, so that a circular hole is punched. Okay, so force is applied by the rod at the circumference of the hole only along tangential direction. So what is the surface area on which force is applied means what is the tangential surface area? What is the tangential surface area on which force is applied to punch the hole? So what is the tangential surface area? Tell me. Circumference is 2 pi r into thickness is t. So this is the tangential surface area on which force is applied to punch the hole. That's why 2 pi r into thickness t. 2 pi r is the circumference into thickness t. That is the surface area of the hole. On the surface area only to cut the metal, we apply the force. That's why tangential surface area on which force is applied is this one. It is the tangential surface area. Here, area of cross section or tangential area. Tangential area. Suppose if it is a square plate of side A, if it is a square hole of side A, what is the formula here? For square shaped hole. A square shaped hole. What is the area? Area A is equal to, tell me, for square shaped hole, what is the area, tangential area on which force is applied? Tell me. Very good, Nana. 4AT. That idea you must have. So circumference is 4A, 4A into thickness T. That is the tangential surface area of the square hole. So 4A into T. That reasoning we need. That knowledge we need. Physics. Okay, very good. Quick. Very good, Nana. Bashwant. Right. Therefore, in that case, breaking force required to punch the hole. So force required to punch the hole. Force required to punch a square hole. It is a force required to punch a hole. Hole means generally circular. That's why I did not mention here. Force required to punch a square hole. F is equal to breaking stress into area. 4A into T. 4A into T. That is the force required to punch a hole. Okay, these are the different cases. One minute, if any other note points are there, I will discuss. Otherwise, I will start the new topic, this chapter only. Here, okay, sir, timing sufficient. Okay. On the cone, when the ring is kept here, because of weight of the ring, ring try to comes down. At the same time, the surface of the cone pushes the ring in backward pushes the ring in this direction with a force equal to normal reaction in this direction. Due to that, the vertical component of the normal reaction n sin theta acts upwards and weight of the ring acts downwards direction. Hence, because of weight, when the ring try to comes down, then the normal reaction component acts on the ring upwards and it prevents the slipping of the ring in downwards direction. So under equilibrium, what is the tension the ring they asked? Under equilibrium, what is the tension the ring? So suppose if you consider the small element here, suppose here you consider the small element of the ring. From top view, when you see the ring, the position of the ring is like this. The shape of the ring is like this. Okay, it is the center. You consider the small element of the ring here. You consider the small element of the ring here. Okay, then exactly at the edge of this ring, the force developed because the ring try to comes down and the normal reaction component, normal reaction try to pull the ring away from them. Due to that, some tension is developed in the ring. Such tension developed at this point is say T. Then tension is along the tangential direction. The tension is along tangential direction here, that is T in the ring. Similarly, at this point also, the tension is along tangential direction only. So in this direction, tension T is there. Okay, now here you see these tensions are in horizontal plane. At this point, when you consider the element here, on the element, normal action acts in this direction and their components acts in this direction and in this direction. So along vertical direction, on the element, the normal action component n sin theta acts upwards. On this element, normal action component acts upwards and weight downwards. That's why under equilibrium, here only, under equilibrium, along vertical direction, n sin theta balances the weight of the element dm into z. Weight of the element dm into z. Okay, that is equation 1. That is equation 1. Say. Next, here along in a horizontal plane, under equilibrium in horizontal plane, under equilibrium in horizontal plane, in horizontal plane. Okay, n cos theta, you see, away from the center of the ring, in this direction n cos theta acts. So in this direction n cos theta acts. And suppose the angle made by this normal drawn onto this tangential direction is say alpha with vertical, and this is also alpha. No? Then the tension component in this direction is T cos 90 minus alpha. That means T sin alpha in this direction. The tension component acts on the element in this tension component acts on the element in this direction is equal to T cos 90 minus alpha means T sin alpha. This is also T sin alpha. So totally 2 sin alpha. And their components along horizontal directions are T cos alpha, T cos alpha. Both will be cancelled. These two will be cancelled. Only on the element, only on this element along horizontal, in a horizontal plane, n cos it acts away from the center in this direction, and the tension component to 2t sin alpha acts in this direction. Under the equilibrium, both are equal. That's why 2t sin alpha is equal to n cos theta. 2t sin alpha is equal to n cos theta. Therefore, n cos theta is equal to 2t into, as element is considered, alpha is very small. Alpha is very small. That's why sin alpha can be written as simply alpha. Okay, this is equation 2. Since sin alpha is nearly equal to alpha. Okay, but from the back, you see, as theta is equal to 45 degree, sin alpha is equal to cos alpha. Hence, n sin theta, n cos theta both are equal. So from 1 and 2, 2t alpha is equal to dm into z. We can write. ఎందుకంటే theta is equal to 45 అన్నాడు కాబట్టి n cos theta, n sin theta రెండు ఈక్వల్ అవుతాయి. n cos theta, n sin theta రెండు ఈక్వల్ అయినప్పుడు sin alpha సారీ theta is equal to 45 అయినప్పుడు sin theta is equal to cos theta కదా. theta is equal to 45 అయినప్పుడు sin theta, cos theta రెండు ఈక్వల్ కాబట్టి therefore n sin theta is equal to n cos theta. n sin theta అంటే dm into z, n cos theta అంటే 2t into alpha. Okay, so 2t alpha is equal to mass of the element. Mass of the element considered ante total mass of the ring is m given. Total length of the ring is equal to 2 pi into capital R. It is the mass per unit length. For this much length dl, what is the mass? Means into dl into z. Okay, so this is equation 3. From the diagram, angle subtended by arc of length dl at the center is 2 alpha. Therefore, angle subtended by the arc at the center 2 alpha is equal to arc by radius. Radius is r, no? This radius is r. From this, alpha is equal to dl by 2 into capital R. Now we substitute here in this formula from 3. 2t into alpha means dl by 2r is equal to m by 2 pi r into dl into z. Okay, therefore here dl cancel, 2 cancel, r cancel. Therefore t is equal to mz by 2 pi. We got this only, no? This is the first case. So the tension in the ring is equal to, from this formula, it is clear that the tension developed in the ring depends on the mass of the ring and the acceleration due to gravity at that place. It does not depend on the radius of the ring and the area of cross section of the ring. So tension in the ring will be same throughout. So A is tension, B. Tension does not depend on the tension depends on the mass only. It does not depend on the area of cross section. And moreover, for the given ring here, mass is constant, D is constant at the given place. That's why tension is also constant now. So tension at every point in the ring is constant. That's why tension T is uniform throughout the ring. T is uniform throughout the ring. Throughout the ring. That is next one. Next, tension in the ring will be independent of the radius of the ring, because radius of the ring is R. R term is not involved. That's why tension is independent on radius of the ring. Tension is independent on radius of the ring. This is the information can be drawn that formula. Next, potential energy stored in the ring means we can find, because potential energy stored in the ring means potential energy P U is equal to, of course, I'm going to derive that formula. Potential energy is equal to half into stress into, I will derive this formula, strain into volume of the ring. That is the potential energy stored. Stress means tension by stress is equal to, you have to substitute everyone. Stress is equal to force by area. That means force means tension in the ring by area of cross section of the ring is given as small a. That is the stress. Strain is equal to elongation by original length of the wire. Now, what is the elongation of the wire? We have to find. Elongation of the ring is how much? Okay. Shall I write this part? You see, if Young's modulus of material of the ring is equal to y is equal to F by A by E by L. So elongation of the ring is equal to FL by A into Y. Okay, F means tension the ring, L means length of the ring. Length of the ring is equal to 2 pi capital R, original length, by area of cross section of the ring is small a into Young's modulus Y. Young's modulus Y. Okay. So this is the elongation. When you know elongation, therefore strain is equal to elongation by length of the ring. That is equal to elongation by length of the ring means 2 pi R. 2 pi R, which is equal to E by 2 pi R is equal to T by A into Y. Okay, so stress is known, strain is equal to E by L, which is equal to known. Stress is known, strain is known. Next, what about the volume of the ring? Volume of the ring means area of cross section of the wire into length of the wire is equal to 2 pi into capital R. It is the volume of the entire ring. So we know everyone. If you substitute in this formula, then you will get U is equal to, after simplification, you will get M square D square R by 4 pi AY. M square D square R by 4 pi small a into Y. A is the area of cross section of the ring. Y is the Young's modulus. R is the radius of the ring. M is the mass of the ring. So you will get this one. Energy, potential energy stored in the ring is this one. Okay, last. Can you spend 5 minutes? Can we spend 5 minutes? So this is the formula for potential. No, not for this. Potential energy stored in the wire. I want to derive. That is just for 3 minutes. Just for 3 minutes, I can explain. Okay. Okay. Now, strain energy or potential energy stored in the wire. So these are the different points or applications of the Young's modulus. Last one. So note points are over in this. Of course, some more are there. In next class, we will discuss. Next, strain energy. Potential energy, elastic potential energy stored in the wire or strain energy stored in the wire. Both are same. Just 3 minutes. Because you can do some more problems. Strain energy or potential energy stored in the ring. Elastic potential energy. Elastic potential energy stored in the wire. Stored in the wire. Okay. Suppose here one wire is there having length L, area of cross section capital A. A wire having length L, area of cross section A. Okay. This wire is touched by means of a force F. This wire is touched by means of a force F. Original length is L. Whenever the wire is touched by means of a force F along its length, then the wire increases up to this one. So that this is the elongation in the wire. What is the work done in touching the wire to a length? What is the work done by the supplied force to touch the wire by a length equal to E? అంటే L length గల wire ని ఈ length extend అయ్యేట్టుగా చేయాలంటే ఈ force వల్ల ఎంత వర్క్ చేసాం? This is the not constant force. When the elongation is E, the force applied on the string is F. But as long as elongation increases, the force to be applied on the wire also increases. So what is the relation between F and E? Whatever the applied force on the wire is F, the same amount of restoring force is developed as the tension. So from the Young's modulus Y, middle of the wire Y is equal to F by A, E by L. From this F is equal to Y, A, E by L. For the given wire, you see, for the given wire, the restoring force developed in the wire is equal to external force, that is equal to something into E. Here this something is constant within the elastic limit. Within the elastic limit, whenever the extension takes place, there is no considerable change in the area of cross section within the elastic limit. Out of the elastic limit means the wire becomes thin down. But within the elastic limit, almost all the area of cross section remains constant. Y is constant, L is constant, original length. Okay, from this F is proportional to E. F is proportional to E. This is the equation 1. So as the F is proportional to E, the force to be applied on the wire varies linearly with elongation. For the small elongation DE, what is the work done by this force? That is the dW. dW is equal to F into D. For the small elongation DE, the work done by this force on the wire is equal to DE. Okay, therefore, total work done to extend the wire from length 0 to, from the elongation 0 to E. What is the total work done? Total work done is equal to integral dW between the limits E is equal to 0 to total elongation small e. Total elongation is a small e. That is equal to integral. dW means F into D. E is equal to 0 to E. E is equal to 0 to E. For the small work done, for the small extension, the work done is equal to F into dE. For the total extension from 0 to E, what is the total work done? Means integral dW between the limits 0 to E. Okay, therefore, W is equal to integral 0 to E. What about F? F means this only, no? YA by L into E. YA by L into E into D. Even extension takes place within the elastic limit, there is no change in the area of cross section. Original length is constant, Young's modulus is constant, you write outside YA by L. Integral EDE means E square by 2. When you substitute the limits, you will get E square by 2 only. Therefore, work done in stretch the wire by a length E is equal to this one. This work done is stored in the wire as the elastic potential energy or strain energy. So strain energy stored in the wire whenever it is extended like this. The extend అయినప్పుడు ఎంత additional energy store అయింది, that additional energy which is called the strain energy or elastic potential energy stored in the wire due to extension, which is equal to YA by L into E square by 2. That's all. Okay, therefore strain energy stored in the wire is equal to half into this half I have written here. What is the stress? Stress is equal to force by area of cross section. From this, force by area of cross section is equal to YE by, okay, force by area of cross section. Force by area of cross section means we can write Y, force by area of cross section equal YE by L, no? So you write Y small e by L. You keep like this. Okay, what is the remaining one? Half into YE by L I have written. Remaining is area of cross section. Okay, E into A is there. That's all. YE by L I have written 1 by 2 I have written here. Remaining is A into small e only. Okay. Multiply with L, divide with L. Then U is equal to half YE by L into E by L. E by L into A into L. Keep this in brackets, keep this in brackets, keep this in brackets. So U is equal to half into, what is YE by L? What is YE by L? YE by L is what? YE by L is, you see, F by A is equal to, since F by A is equal to YE by L, that is equal to stress, no? F by A is equal to stress, that is equal to YE by L. So YE by L can be called as the stress, that is equal to stress. Into E by L means already we know strain. Into area of cross section of the wire into length of the wire, that is equal to volume of the wire. So volume. So this is the general formula for potential energy stored in the string when it is extended by certain length E. Okay, potential energy stored per unit volume. Potential energy per unit volume. UV is equal to potential energy stored by volume V. So that is equal to half stress into strain. Sometimes we will be given information only regarding stress and Young's modulus. What is the potential energy stored? They may ask. In such case, okay, last 1 minute. So here, note point. Potential energy stored per unit volume is equal to U suffix V is equal to half stress into strain. Potential energy stored per unit volume is equal to half stress into strain. Okay. Potential energy stored per unit volume is equal to half stress into strain. Suppose you are given information regarding stress only, strain information is not given. In such case, Young's modulus may be given. Young's modulus Y is equal to stress by strain. No? So therefore, UV is equal to half into stress information is given, strain is not given. So strain can be written as stress by Young's modulus. Stress by Young's modulus. Into stress is there. So stress square by Young's modulus. Suppose if you are given the information regarding stress, but strain is not given. So stress can be written as Y into strain. Therefore, potential energy stored per unit volume is equal to stress means Y into strain. Y into strain. Into strain is there already. That's why strain square we can write. So if you are given information regarding stress only, then potential energy stored per unit volume is this one. If you are given information regarding strain only, then potential energy stored is equal to half Y into strain. Okay. These are the formulas we can use. That's all. So based on this, we do the problems today. Okay. Okay. Now have a nice day. I'm signing out. Today, based on this, you have to do the problems. Okay. Right. Okay. We'll meet in study hour. Bye, Nana. Have your lunch. Yeah, I will upload in the YouTube. Bye, all of you. Okay. Shall I sign out? Okay, I will upload now itself only, Mohan.